supporting details. So that's why when we can see the relation between this one main idea and with other sentences inside a paragraph, and the supporting details or the supporting sentences support the main idea itself, then we can see the unity itself. So remember, we will not see or we will not get other topic or other main idea or other topic sentence inside the paragraph. So that is what is called by a unity. Now, actually, I have some practice, some paragraphs for sure. What you need to do, just think whether the paragraph is unified or not. Okay, if it is not unified, then which sentence that is irrelevant? Okay, which one that the sentence is the sentence or sentences are irrelevant, like that. Okay, so remember, unity is one main idea per paragraph. So we only need to think about what is the topic sentence or the main idea, and then read the whole paragraph and then think about whether the paragraph is unified or not. So this is the paragraph. If you want to try, just please raise your hand. Do you think this paragraph is unified or not? Yes, Albert?
I think that the paragraph that show right now are unified, ma'am, because there's only one main idea, which is on the first sentence.
Are you sure?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, that's not the answer. But actually, this paragraph is not unified. But then, which one, okay, anyone, okay, it can be Albert or anyone, which one that makes, which sentence or sentences that makes this paragraph is not unified? Yes, Ali? Okay, so from which sentence do you think that is irrelevant? Until? Until? Which one? Okay, yes, actually what Ali said is totally correct. So Ali, you can report yourself to Rifan or Yota. So yes, what Ali said is correct. So the main idea itself is, so we talk about the HIV epidemic that is growing explosively, growing in the number. So we can see here about the numbers, right? So at the end of 1983, and then okay, so it's a 10,000 HIV infected, and then this total in tenfold 100,000 by the end of 1995. So we can see that it talks about the growing number, but then here from mothers until infections, it talks about different things. It talks about how the HIV virus is or can be transmitted. Jadi dia bukan ngomongin tentang numbernya, Kalau di sini kan yang pertama dia growing explosively, berarti kita lagi ngomongin tentang kasusnya yang nambahin gitu kan. Tapi mulai dari mother sampai infection, dia lebih ngomongin tentang gimana sih si HIV virus ini transmitted to others gitu. So what Ali said is totally correct. I think I saw somebody raising his or her hand.
Yes, I'd like to ask about the sentence in red because you said that this paragraph is not unified because of the uh, sentences in red, right? And I'd like to ask whether the sentences in red can be its own paragraph,
In different paragraph, you
Yeah.
mean? Yes, of course. Because actually, if we talk about only this one paragraph, of course, these sentences are not relevant. But then, like Hansel said, so the red ones can be in a different paragraph, can be written in a different paragraph because it has its own main idea. Yes, Hansel, that's totally correct.
Then it became that
It
that
becomes
paragraph it becomes a unified paragraph.
that it becomes a unified paragraphs. Well, depending on the main idea itself. If you want to talk about, okay, so the black one will be one unified paragraph, yes, and the red ones will be one different unified paragraph, that will be fine. But if we talk about for these two paragraphs will be unified, I don't think so. It depends on the big main idea of the text itself. Does that answer your question?
May I ask another one, or should I wait for another?
Oh, it's fine.
No, since writing could consist of many paragraphs, I'd like to ask: is there any like what is it? A unified writing? Like it should be in one topic, right? And
It
then
should be a one big topic,
one
yeah.
big topic. So this unified paragraphs should still be in one topic. Then how can we know if one paragraph is talking about one topic and then continuing the main big topic and then etc. etc.
Okay, right. So, do you still remember about our material about the Zion market? The Zion market is the best and popular Korean market in Korea. Yeah, in Korea. So, how can we know that the paragraph itself or the text itself has a one unified text, one unified essay? So let's say, let's use the example of the Zion market is the best and popular Korean market. Um, the supporting ideas, which is clear color like that. Hang on, I will share. Right. So let's use this one. Okay, let's use this one. Let's pretend that this actually the example of one essay consists of 3 paragraphs. Kalau ini kan contohnya masih dia dalam bentuk satu paragraf ya, tapi kita coba bikin ini menjadi satu essay and it has 3 paragraphs inside. Topik sentence besarnya adalah si Zion market is one of the busiest and best Korean market. Di dalamnya kita akan ngomongin tentang ini. Oke, supporting 1. Jadi main idea 1, paragraf 1 adalah products are of a good quality. Di dalam paragraf 1 kita akan ngomongin tentang fruits and vegetables are fresh, clear colors, fruits delicious, juicy and sweet. Ini semua dia akan mengacu ke kenapa si Zion market ini adalah busiest and best Korean market. Yang paragraf kedua, prices of products are low. Oke, di sini di paragraf kedua dia akan ngomongin tentang si better prices in other markets and discount everywhere, every weekend. Nah, ini juga mendukung ke topik sentence yang besarnya adalah kenapa sih Zion market is one of the busiest and best Korean market. The same thing with the last paragraph, paragraf 3. Employees are kind. Nah, kenapa sih employees are kind? Oh, dia no quarrels and the manager responds quickly to requests. Nah, ini juga akan mendukung atau menjadi alasan kenapa sih Zion market is one of the busiest and best Korean markets. Jadi intinya adalah gimana kita bisa tahu kalau misalnya sebuah esai itu dia unified atau tidak. First, what we need to do, find what is the topic sentence or the main idea. Dia lagi ngomongin tentang apa. And then kita baca di setiap paragrafnya. Lihat di paling tidak kalimat pertama setiap paragraf. Itu mengacu ke topik sentence besarnya atau tidak. Does that answer your question, Hansel?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay. Right. So you can report yourself then.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Right. So the next one, I still have the other one. Hang on. Do you think this paragraph is unified or not? Yes, Albert?
Yes, ma'am. I think this paragraph is unified because
This
the main
paragraph
idea is
is
on the first sentence.
the first sentence is about the growing number. Exactly. Albert, you can report yourself then. Now, how about this one? Unified or not? If it is not unified, which sentence or sentences that is or that are irrelevant? Hanif Raihan?
Okay, ma'am, I think the line there is evidence that in United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, and New Zealand, HIV infection rates are declining, at least among males. So that is contradictory to the statement of the main idea, which is HIV epidemic is growing explosively.
So you think this paragraph is not unified?
Yes, this is not unified.
This is not unified. Is it only that one or any other sentences? Are you sure?
Wait. I think the final sentence is also irrelevant because the paragraph is talking about explosive growth, but that last sentence is talking about how HIV/AIDS has no cure.
Okay, so actually what Hanif said is correct. Thank you for others who wants to try. Yeah, so this paragraph is not unified. What makes it not unified? Because from the word, from the sentence, there is until methods. If we don't, it is contradict because the main idea itself is about the growing number, but here It's about the declining number for the rates. So of course, it is contradiction. And the very last one, we are actually still talking about the growing number, but the very last sentence here, it talks about the medication. So it has no relation with the main idea itself. Yeah. So Hanif, you can report yourself. Right. So I still have the other one. This is actually, so if you can answer this paragraph, whether it is unified or not, and if it is not unified, which sentence or sentences are irrelevant, and you need to decide whether the paragraph should be divided into 2 or more paragraphs. Okay, if you can answer this correctly, then the extra credit or the extra point will be for one group. So let's say if Albert can answer this, so Albert's group will get the point. Okay, so what you need to do, decide first whether the paragraph is unified or not. And then if it is not unified and you think that the paragraph should be divided into 2 or more paragraphs, from which sentence until which sentence that it should be divided, and then find the irrelevant sentence. There you go. Yeah, Albert?
From this paragraph, I think we can divide can be a 3 paragraph.
Into 3 paragraph from where to where?
From because of the internet until increase, and then Bill Gates until communication, and then software until access.
Software until exists.
I mean, that's the main idea from the paragraph that are divided.
Okay. Any irrelevant sentence?
Sorry, miss.
Any irrelevant sentence, do you think?
So far, not, miss.
No. Sorry, that's not the answer, but it's a good try.
Okay, thank you, miss.
Yeah. Anyone wants to try?
I'd like to try, but
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if this is the same with Albert because I cannot comprehend myself with Albert's statement. If I may annotate, I'd like to start from the first sentence until till here, and then start the second paragraph until, let me see. Until wait. It is here, I guess.
Are you sure?
Yes, because wait, is there any other options? here.
That
And
one
then this sentence, the yellow one until the yellow one is irrelevant.
is
And then
irrelevant.
software until the end.
So far to the end. It's a very good try, but it's not the answer. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, Hanif.
I think I'll try to annotate. So the first paragraph is from there to here, and then the next one is from here to here, and then the third one is from here to here.
Irrelevant sentence.
The irrelevant sentence is the last one because it is suddenly talking about computer spelling checkers.
Pardon? The irrelevant sentences.
What?
Can you
Sorry.
repeat? Can you repeat the irrelevant sentence?
The irrelevant sentence is the last one. The computer spelling checkers also exist for various languages.
Good try, but it's not the answer.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Anyone wants to try? Yes, Nadif.
I'd like to try, ma'am. The paragraph is actually consisted of two topics, two main topics. The first one is the use of a common language, and the second one is translating software into the common language itself. So, in my opinion, the main paragraph starts from because of the internet, blah blah blah, till till for a long time as a common language for international communication. The next sentence, his company spends 200 million, should be it's an entirely new paragraph, along with every sentence from someday software may be available till the end.
So you think it should be divided into two paragraphs? So from because of the internet
until international communication. The next sentence should be an entirely new paragraph, and then the sentence after that, he says, unless you read English passably well, you miss out on some of the internet experience. Should be inside the first paragraph, and everything after that should be inside the second paragraph.
Oh, okay. Hang on. You said because of the internet until internet experience will be in one paragraph, and someday until various languages is another paragraph. Is that what you mean?
Yes, and the sentence, his company spends 200 million. Yeah, his company spends 200 million is irrelevant in the first paragraph and should be moved into the second one.
So the irrelevant, okay, so hang on. The irrelevant sentence from the first paragraph is which one?
His company spends 200 million a year translating software into other languages.
Okay, so you think that is the irrelevant. How about the second paragraph? Is there any irrelevant sentence or not?
No. They're all one main topic in the second paragraph.
So there is no irrelevant sentence then?
There's no relevant sentences in the second paragraph.
There is no?
No, there's only an irrelevant sentence in the main paragraph, which is his company spends 200 million a year. What I'm trying to do is divide this entire paragraph into two separate ones. and finding out
Oh,
the relevant paragraphs
mhm.
and finding out the relevant sentences in each paragraph.
Okay, right. So you said it should be divided into 2 paragraphs, and the irrelevant sentence from first paragraph is his company until other languages. And on the second paragraph, there is no irrelevant sentence. Is that what you mean?
Yes, ma'am.
It's almost correct. So what's not the answer? Sorry.
What about the last question being at the last sentence being the irrelevant sentence? Same as Nadif's, but the last sentence is relevant.
Can you give your full answer, please?
So the first paragraph starts from because of the internet, and then until Bill Gates says, unless you read English passably well, and then with the same irrelevant sentence in the first paragraph, his company spends, because it's not the same topic, unless it switches up that sentence, his company spends 200 million a year, and then you put it in the second paragraph, it can become relevant. But until then, it still becomes irrelevant. So the second paragraph then starts from someday the software may be available to instantly translate both written and spoken language, and then until the translation is totally useless.
So translation is totally useless. So the last sentence will be the irrelevant sentence. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Do you mean this one?
Yeah.
Right. Well, actually, yes. It should be divided into 2 paragraphs. Why? Because on the first paragraph, it is talk about English as a common language for the internet language, right? But here we can see the red one. We don't talk about the spending money, okay? We don't talk about the money here. We only talk about English as the common language in the internet things. And the second one, it has a different main idea. It talks about the machine translation. Okay, so from someday until totally useless. So the irrelevant sentence from the second paragraph is about this one, the computer spelling checkers. Okay, we don't talk about the computer spelling checkers. It has a different things with the machine translation. So sorry, Nadif, Hansel group will get the extra point. So Hansel and the groups you can report yourself to Rifan or Yuta. Okay. Yes, sure, Andrian. Right. So actually we will talk about the theory now. We already talked about how we organize our supporting what is it, sentences previously about the Zion market, right? So now how we organize our ideas, all the ideas that we have in paragraphs or in text itself. Text means that more than one paragraph for sure. So how actually we need helps from what we called as in Bahasa Indonesia is conjungsi, right? So we need help from the transitional expression. So we need to use these words to make our writing, of course, to make it smooth, and our reader will easily to digest our writing for sure. So if we want to talk about the time order or chronological things or sequence, we need this. So later when you want to write about something chronologically, then we need to use these expressions. We can use after that, eventually, months later, next while, etc., etc. Okay. And then this is for the time order. Another thing to organize our ideas is by using empathic order. So for empathic order, it has two kinds actually, to some kind of purpose. First one is general specific, just very specific, and the second is least important, important, and most important. So the words that we need, or the transitional expressions that we need are this one. Um, Above all, first, moreover, most important, etc., etc. So as you can see on your screen for sure. So beside the time order and the empathic order, sometimes we need to use the space order. Well, actually, for space order itself, it seems like a preposition. So later, when we want to describe about the location of someone or something, of course, we need to use these words or these expressions or this preposition. Let's say if Yota comes to me and he asked me which one is Rifan. While Rifan at the same time is sitting in front of me, then I can say to Yota, okay, so Yota, Rifan is sitting in front of me. Okay, so I'm using the space order because I want to describe the location of Rifan to Yota. So that is the example. So it seems like a preposition. Right, so actually for these slides, we already talked about the unity itself and how we organize the ideas by using transitional expressions, or what we already know as a conjunction, konjungsi in Bahasa Indonesia. Now I'm going to stop share this one and I will share, or we will talk about coherence. Right, so anybody who knows what is coherence? You may raise your hand or can answer what is coherence. Yes, Hanif?
From what I know, I think coherence is where every component of something is really interact to each other, like they belong to each other. Like I think that's how I describe it.
Okay, so it's related to each other. Yes, Hanif, you can report yourself to Rifan or Yota. What Hanif said is correct. So coherence is like hold together. So the sentences inside a paragraph should hold together because we can see that the movement from one sentence to another will be smooth and logical. So it seems like, or it is the same, like we are answering questions. So let's say your lecturer give you a question. So this question is about something that you need to look for in a journal. Okay, then your lecturer will see your answer, whether your answer can answer the question or not. Jadi terlihat ada hubungannya, related. Okay, so it's that's why it's a whole together. So sentence from one sentence to another sentence will hold together. So that's why unity and coherence cannot be separated. If there is a unity, then there must be coherence. Okay, so in a paragraph, in literature, it will be like that. So how to achieve coherence? There are 4 things here. The first one is repetition of key nouns, use consistent pronouns, by using transition signals and logical order. I want to let you know that for this slide, it will be a little bit boring because, to be honest, it will be boring because we will talk about a bit grammar. Now let's just talk about the repetition of the key nouns. So for the repetition of key nouns, let's say we have this. We want to talk about code. Then as you can see on the red ones and the blue ones here, okay, still we repeat the key nouns. We repeat what we are talking about because the topic is about code. Okay, we are talking about code, then goat, and goat will be repeated. Okay, it's repeated or repeated in this paragraph. And then to make it not boring, then the author change or use the use the pronoun, which is because goat is a thing, then we or the author use it or it's like that. Okay, so that is how to achieve coherence by using key nouns. Okay, repetition of key nouns. The second one is using consistent pronouns. So let's see here. It talks about the Olympic athletes. Okay, remember Olympic athletes. It is by using as, so it means that it is plural. It's not only one. Okay, it's a plural. So when you focus on the right ones, you can see that there are words like you, Olympians, they, he or she. Okay, so actually, and everyone there, but it's actually everyone is not pronoun here. Okay, it's a different things. So we have you, Olympians, they, he or she. Okay, it's not consistent. Okay, so how we revise then this? Here is revision to make it consistent, because Olympic athletes is more than one or more than one person. It's athletes, it's plural. Then we need to use the word they as the pronoun, kata gantinya. So we can use they and we can use Olympians. Okay, it's just the same. Ini yang everyone typo ya, harusnya dia black, not red. So because everyone di sini dia bukan ngomongin tentang Olympic athletes, tapi it's anyone, okay, general people. Right, so that's why to achieve coherence, we need to use consistent pronouns. So we already talked about the repetition of key nouns and the using of a, what is it, consistent pronouns. The third one, use transition signals. Okay, so actually for transition signals is what we call it as the same, konjungsi in bahasa Indonesia, kata hubung, right? So for the transition signals, it is divided into two, sentence connectors and clause connectors. For sentence connectors, it is divided into two again. The first one is transition phrases. So transition phrases, I believe you already read these things almost in your daily life, in your daily reading life. So transitions phrases usually, so I put it in red, usually appear at the beginning of a sentence. Okay, sometimes it can appear in the middle or the end of the sentence. It is always separated by commas. Okay, if it is in the middle of a sentence, then we need two commas, okay, to separate the sentence, like this one. Right, so the transitional expressions here, the transition phrases here is, for example, then we need commas. If it is the at the beginning of a sentence, for example, and then commas after it, if it is in the middle. So for example, will be inside the two commas, and comma first, and the last one is a for example, like this one. Next, the conjunctive adverbs, still talking about the sentence connectors. So for conjunctive adverbs, the different things between the previous one is by using semicolon and a comma. Semicolon is the titik comma, okay, and a comma to join two independent clauses to form a compound sentence, like what, like this one. So we can see here that this is the independent clause. This one is the independent clause. Okay, so what is independent clause? Independent clause is clausa mandiri ya. It seems it's not. It seems it is. So when we read that clause, we can get the full idea. Okay, so in warm climate zone, water evaporates rapidly. Okay, we can get the full idea, the full meaning of this clause. Okay, that is the independent clause. Now, okay, so to make it easier for you, then I already made the list here. So if you want to use the transition phrase to introduce an opposite idea, you can use on the other hand and contrast like that. But if you want to use the conjunctive adverbs and you want to say to introduce a choice, then you can say otherwise, like that. Next is the clause connectors. So usually we found this in a TOEFL question, yeah, TOEFL test. Coordinating conjunction and subordinating conjunction. Sama seperti di bahasa Indonesia juga ada coordinating, subordinating gitu kan. Conjunction. So here for the coordinating conjunctions to join two independent clauses to form a compound sentence. So these are the independent clause. So the president arrived. We can get the full idea that okay, presidennya nyampe. And then the same president actually dia gave an hour-long speech. So the president gave an hour-long speech. So to make it not redundant or to make it not overlap, the president here delete, jadi dihapus, because the same president will given given an hour-long speech. So the president arrived and the president gave an hour-long speech. The same thing like here. I put mayonnaise and I put mustard in the sandwich. So I putnya sama, dihapus jadinya biar nggak redundant or overlap. So I put mayonnaise and mustard in the sandwich like that. And subordinating conjunctions introduce the dependent clause. So the dependent clause means the bergantung ya, clause yang bergantung, yang cannot stand alone. Okay, it cannot stand alone. So why it cannot stand alone? Because we don't get the full idea. Let's see here. Kalau saya tutup si yang black one, okay, this one, the black one, saya hanya bilang ke kalian, although the company's sales increased last year, saya yakin pasti kalian akan nungguin ujungnya apa, karena kalimatnya masih belum lengkap. So, itu adalah dependent clause. Okay, so dependent clause like this one. So to make it easier for you, this is the list. So for coordinating conjunction, actually it's only fan voice. So it's for and nor but or yet and so. Okay, and for the subordinating conjunction is although, though, even though, etc., like that. That is for the transition signals. And now is the logical order. Okay, so for the logical order, actually it's to arrange sentence, of course, in logical order. The same thing actually like the transition signals, tapi kalau yang ini lebih konjungsinya lebih mengutarakan tentang comparison, contrast, cause effect, chronological order, generalization, and logical division. So like what? Like this one. Here is the list of the logical order that you can take a look later when you need to write your essay, your paragraph. Joint relation, and also in addition, etc., etc. Differences, however, nevertheless, on the contrary, etc., etc. So now it depends on how you want to use, whether you want to use a transitional signals or a logical order or consistent pronouns or repetition of key nouns to achieve coherence, like that. All right, any question? No? All right, so please remember, okay, that unity means that one paragraph, one idea, one main idea, okay, one paragraph, one main idea or topic sentence. And coherence itself, it talks about the sequence, the logical sentence sequence. So whether uh, the movement from one sentence to another sentence is smooth, easily to digest, easily to understand by our reader. Okay, so we already talked about the unity and coherence and the conjunctions inside it and how to organize the ideas. So it means that we are going to have individual work. So for the individual work, you just need to write only a unified and coherent paragraph. But actually, I will show you the not unified and not coherent paragraph on the next page, on the next slide. All right, so the due of your individual work will be today, maximum at 23:59, and you just need to submit it or upload it in Schoology. And because this is the individual work, so the file name must be your name, your full name for sure, and then your name, and then K17, yeah, K17. And here is the not unified and not coherent paragraph. What you need to do, actually, we have here three sentences. In one paragraph, this one, we have three sentences. You can rearrange, okay? You can or you may rearrange the sentence, the location of sentence. Let's say, Miss, I think I don't want to put the first sentence, this one. I don't want to have this. So I want to put this one to be put in the very last one. That's fine. It's up to you. Okay. You may rearrange the location of the sentence. And then you may give two other sentences to make this paragraph unified and coherent. So Miss, I think I want to give one or two sentences. May I? Yes, you may. Okay. And then you also may to put or to write the conjunction, yang konjungsi tadi. You may use the what is it? The time order, space order, what is it? The logical order, and then transition signals, clause connectors. It's up to you. Yeah, sentence connectors. It's up to you. Konjungsi yang tadi. So you may put that conjunction. Okay. However, you cannot delete even only one word. Okay, jadi nggak boleh dihapus even cuman satu kata pun. So, ini harus exactly like this, tapi boleh di rearrange location-nya, tapi tidak untuk dihapus satu kata pun. Kalian boleh menambahkan 2 kalimat, maksimal 2 kalimat ke sini, dan kalian sangat boleh menggunakan konjungsi. Okay, any question?
Yes, for the last sentence, can I change the new student do to new student does?
Yes, of
Oh,
course.
okay.
Mhm. Any other question? Nope. Okay, I think EduNext is in error. Saya nggak tahu EduNext dari kemarin error terus. So, I will call your name. Fulvian, are you here?
Yes.
Siwata, are you here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hisanuddin Sani,
Yes, ma'am.
Davin Ansor,
Yes, ma'am.
Aulia Fajar,
Yes, ma'am.
Farel Ardiansyah, okay. Muhammad Hilman,
Yes, ma'am.
Maulid Rizal,
Yes, ma'am.
okay.